Hey everybody, welcome back to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your hosts Jake Saldati and Chad Rawford on this glorious Halloween day.
Monday. Yeah, happy Halloween. Or Tuesday, if you will. Hope Halloween went well.
Yeah, I hope you guys get to eat all your kids' candy and you dressed up and had fun.
Yeah. You go? Are you dressing up?
I was going to, but you know, it's hard to find a costume that fits this physique. Yeah, so the one I ordered, believe it or not, the pants were too big and the shirt was small.
Believe it or not.
So I will not be Peter Pan like I was planning on being.
That's a sight right there.
So I don't know. I might go sneak over to a Halloween store and see if I can find something, but CJ's gonna be an Army guy. I think JD's gonna be an Army guy.
Yeah,
too.
he was. Originally, was like a knockoff Halo guy because we didn't get the helmet.
Yeah,
but I think he just wants to be the soldier. So
yeah, so him and CJ could probably have the same costume on.
I think so.
And then Vivi's gonna be Tinkerbell.
Okay, that works.
And that's why I was gonna be Peter Pan.
Okay.
And then Reese will be Baby Shark, and Nikki got a shark hat. She didn't want to go all out.
So you're not doing anything
as of now. No.
Okay.
But I did buy a costume.
Wear the hat.
I'm just an average human being sized. I'm not gonna just wear the hat. It's
got to be all or nothing.
It's got to be all or nothing.
Okay.
I mean, the last 2 years I was all or nothing.
True. You could recycle. You used to have the dinosaur. It's just too hot in there, bro.
No, it was the bear.
Bear. There you go, bear.
And the unicorn's ripped from last year. So,
well, I hope everybody had a safe Halloween and lots of fun. Check your candy. I'm not,
which is crazy, right? That you do have to say that.
But I mean, that's been a thing since even when I was younger. Like, you know, you always looked at the wrappers and stuff. But even now, like, I know I saw something about like fentanyl laced. Can you really?
Yeah.
We know where we're going. We know the houses we're hitting. So I still check, but not concerned, overly concerned about that. But just the fact that you got to say it is pretty gnarly. I guess this is the world we live in, bro. Mm-hmm. World Series Game 3, also Halloween night. This will be out. So Game 4, also Tuesday night in Philly.
The Astros will be up 2-1.
Could be. I'm not going to say that. You're predicting.
I picked them. I have to go. I have to stick with them.
I do have a shout out. Couple people I want to shout out. Over the weekend, I was at an inter squad game at Madera, talking to some fans of the podcast, but also family of some players that we both coached. Juan and Sabina, you know who you are. So they told me a story that they went to go visit their son. I believe it's in South Dakota, and she was like, he was falling asleep. And she's like, I know what'll do it. She put on HIT.OR.DIE. They listened to HIT.OR.DIE the entire trip.
Driving.
And I couldn't even do that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to shout them out. That means a lot. You just forget sometimes who listens and how much they listen. And I was thinking, do you think anybody's listened to every single episode? I believe they have.
I don't know.
I mean, I have, but I don't think I count because I'd have to. Whether I want to or not.
I know our wives haven't.
Yes. They probably have listened the least.
Yes.
Like there's some people out there that haven't. They're in that
category.
They're in that group.
They're in that.
But I wanted to shout them out. That was a pretty cool story to hear. If you have listened to every single one, shoot us a message. I'd like to do the same thing. That's pretty awesome. Again, we support it always. To follow the podcast, go to Instagram at HIT.OR.DIE, Twitter at HIT.OR.DIE podcast, YouTube here, hit subscribe. Also on TikTok, Facebook at HIT.OR.DIE. Also wanted to shout out a former player who's in the getting his way into the bat industry. And I've been meaning to do this for the last few weeks. He played at Clovis High School, as an alumni of Clovis High, played travel ball for a team that I coached, 20 years ago now. But Cody White, I forget where he played his college ball, but getting into the bat game, and he's it's Great White Woodworking. Go check it out. It's on Facebook. I think he has an Instagram page also. But shout out Cody. Was a great kid, good player. Always fun to have him out on the team. I got to follow him through high school a little bit. I don't think as we were getting out of the track, but to see those guys go through is pretty cool. But he's in the bat game, so go check out Great White Woodworking, and it's got some pretty cool stuff out there. Logo's cool, and I haven't swung any of the product yet, but I'll have to hit him up. I told him I'd shout him out though. Good guy, some cool stuff. Again, go check it out. Facebook, I know Instagram. I don't know if he's on Twitter yet, but. Anyways, getting into the sports world, Chad, before we get into some World Series talk, a lot went on this weekend, dude.
A lot.
You had a brawl in Michigan. Did you see that? Two of them, yeah. Like, I know people are saying the quick, or why is there one tunnel? They've had one tunnel for as long as that stadium's been open.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's been incidents before that. But, I mean, that was...
It was one on the team. It was
one player versus, I mean, the one looked like a group of 10 dudes.
Yeah. And they all, for some reason, Michigan State had all their uniform in. So, and the Michigan guy didn't even seem like he had his pads on. So I don't know if the game was over. They went in the locker room. He got all his stuff off and came back out and, instigated a little bit.
I'm sure.
But still.
I'm sure it's a rivalry game. You just won.
I mean, I'm not saying anybody's in the right here. It's just.
You know who's in the wrong, though.
Yeah, it's
that.
I mean,
I don't know the names. I don't even know what instigated it.
They were three good. They're some of their best players.
I guess they're done though, right? They're done for the year, as far as what I've heard. I saw a clip of it as they were leaving the field, and it looked like Michigan State hit the tunnel first. So obviously, this guy got his way in and tried to fuel the fire of the defeat.
Yeah.
Which I think anybody or any team's, any competitor is going to take exception to. There's just ways you handle that, and there's ways you don't. And that was obviously, it's obviously a way you don't. It's a bad look for not just the conference, but man, the school, the coaches. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly, man. And I don't know what else is there to address. They're going to address if it's going to be, if there's any law or.
Yeah, I mean, they said they were going to let the authorities handle it too, which I don't really see happening because it just seems like when it's in the sports world, the worst doesn't happen. They get away with more than if this were just normal people.
Never truly accountable.
Yeah. And we've seen that in the last week or so with other stuff as well. But it's just, I don't know how much is going to come down. I think them being dismissed from the team the rest of the season is pretty big. Are they going to come back? Are they, I don't know. But I think more needs to happen. I would even think expulsion from the university. So.
It's bad luck, man.
Bad luck.
I know those guys are done for the year. But I haven't heard anything further from it. The other thing that happened is the Dogs, who are 3-1 in their last 4, had a wild one over the weekend versus San Diego State. And one of the craziest finishes I've ever seen. But let alone, being Fresno State, I think was it 15 points or 14 points in 13 or 14 seconds. Was insane, dude. I mean, you rarely see an onside kick recovered. It was a perfect kick too. It was. Did you see it?
I mean, I saw it the next day. I was sorry, Bulldog players. I was asleep because I got to get up at 2:30 in the morning. So,
but overall, man, it was a frustrating game at times, right? And I think Hainer had 2 picks. One of them, I was like, dude kind of fell. But I thought Hainer played well, coming back off of an injury where you're out for as long as you're out. You're on your feet as much as you're on your feet, threw for 400 plus yards. You saw a massive difference with him in the game. I thought Cropper played well, kind of got him the ball a little bit more, but I mean, Pope went off. I think he had 11 targets or 11 catches, recovered the onside kick, had a touchdown, just played an outstanding game, caught a big 3rd down conversion late. Remigio always has been a great addition. The one thing I was kind of again, our rushing attack, they just 46 yards minus the sacks, right? Hainer had, I think, minus 45. but it was 7 sacks. So, like, it's a great win, a fantastic win. They're in great shape going through the rest of the season to play for the championship, winning their division. But at the same time, I've seen it. People are like, yeah, they won. It's awesome. There's still some things to clean up. 7 sacks, a lot of sacks. I mean, Haener's, that's how you get hurt again. Like, that's how you lose your guy again. And I think with the 2 running backs, I just thought that was kind of odd to see our rushing, again, with Haener's minus 45, it ended up being 1 rushing yard for the game.
Yeah, especially when the week before they had a really good rushing attack. And I feel like that could even open up more throwing for Haener. But, I just feel like when Haener's back in there, it's like, oh, we got to throw. We got to throw.
It's like the Kansas City Chiefs. Was that? I don't know. I think, and you open him up to the sacks, to more hits, knowing what we got to do or what they have to do to accomplish what their goal is, ultimately to win a championship in the conference and get to a bowl game. You got to have him healthy. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not a coach. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what's best or I know how to call an offense. I don't. I just know what I see, and 46 rushing yards with those 2 guys, I think, we just could be better. That's all. And then maybe the plan was, and they were chasing points. They were down like 18. So that could be, that affects what you're doing offensively as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the defense could think you're throwing and you could pop one, a run. I mean, I just feel like they got to mix it up more and have the offense be a little bit, even a little
more balanced. Yeah,
balanced.
Yeah. But again, I thought they played well. The defense made some big time stops late. Like, it was a great team win. It wasn't the prettiest, right? It wasn't, because they're not always going to be the prettiest win. But the Dogs got it done in spectacular fashion. Those that stuck around saw a wild finish. I didn't get to see it live. I did watch it on TV. But after the game, speaking to what you said a minute ago, there were some people, I think a couple players kind of threw it out there, like to some of the fans that left early, stay on that side. And I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, the game did get over almost at midnight.
It was after 11. It was a late one. Again, that's just for TV. So I mean, if you want to be on TV, you're going to play the time they're going to slot you for a TV game.
If you're going to play in the time that they're going to slot you, you're going to have kids. You're going to have parents that bring kids that aren't going to stay the whole game.
I mean, that to me, that's probably an exception. You're going to have
older people that some people can't stay up that late. Some people got to go to work the next day.
Okay, so I'll just flat out say, if I took my family. We're not going to be able to make that. No. We're just not. I mean, my kids are, and that's why we don't really go. We don't really go because I don't want to do that, right? I want to go to the game. I want to enjoy it. I want to watch it start to finish. That's just kind of how I am. The Dogs baseball is a great example, right? We don't go to Friday night games because I know my kids aren't going to make it. Yeah. But we go to Saturday 1:00, Sunday 1:00 because they can make 9 innings. They just can't make it at 6:05. Yeah. And so I think maybe that's the exception to the rule. Maybe some older people that just can't stay up that late. But I personally don't feel like they were talking about those people. Because there's people out there, and then especially the last few weeks while they've been struggling a little bit, or when they lost those 3 in a row, where a lot of people were this team, this team, that, those people maybe. Mm-hmm. I think that's who they're talking to. I don't know. I personally didn't really have a problem with them calling them out, letting them know, like, because there's a lot of people that were shitting on the team. Let's be real.
Yeah, well, let's be real. People want to watch good football too.
I'm on both sides. I get that. I totally get that. In that first half, there's nobody out there that can sit there and say they weren't frustrated with how things were going that game.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and say, oh, because you stayed, and there wasn't a point in that game where you're like, here we go again. I don't want to hear that either. You're full of shit. I don't believe you. Because even I did. It's like, shit, here we go. Like, this happened here, turnover, that whatever it was. Doesn't mean you give up on the team. And I guess the only thing I would say is maybe just be consistent with the things. Like, if you're going to call the fans out, those same fans, when you lost 3 in a row, sold the stadium out for San Jose State. And I didn't see tweets saying, thank you, Red Wave, for the sellout.
for backing us.
We had 2 sellouts, right?
Yeah.
You know, you go on the road, and that's a rough one against UConn, and, you know, the one at Boise, and it's just like you come and your fans still sell out the stadium. And I didn't see the tweets thanking the Red Wave, other than maybe from the program itself. You know, where are the ones that when people were walking in the second quarter? It's not full kickoff.
No, they're enjoying their, you know, beer and their barbecue.
Well, what is it? Is it
it's a party.
And I guess
it's a get together.
Like,
it's not to go watch Fresno State. It's a get together to go hang out with your friends and see them and get the kids together, and then we'll go into the game when we feel like it. And then we'll leave early. Like, I mean, hey, I haven't gone to a game in a while. I don't have tickets. My family has season tickets, but I don't get those. Not my family, but my uncle and stuff. And I mean, he goes and takes the tickets, and then he goes and sits in a box and just doesn't even watch the game. They just hang out in a box with, you know, people that own the box. I'm not going to name names, but it's a big supporter of the program, and they're just up there having a party in the box. They're not even paying attention to the game. So,
did you have a problem with them calling them out though?
The players?
Yeah. I mean,
it depends on who it is. Like, you had the backup running back calling people out, said stay gone. Well, dude, why don't you perform? You have no right to say anything. You guys had 1 rushing yard combined with everything, you know. Like, I have a problem with that. I mean, I honestly feel like calling fans out is just, it's like you want to bring attention to yourself. Like, I couldn't imagine if I went on Twitter back in college calling out the fans that my coach or my athletic director wouldn't have something to say to me about it, or my SRP or whatever they have their, you know, media people that they go to. There's no way that they would have been like, Chad, that's not right. You can't go post that about the fans that pay pretty much to keep the stadium here and, you know, pay for the scholarships that they're on. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I have a problem with it. I just feel like it's not your job is to go play football and win football games. And yeah, does it suck when people leave and everything like that? Yeah, it does. But, you know, if you were undefeated, it wouldn't happen. But if you were playing good football, it wouldn't happen. And I know that's not an excuse. And I know you see like Power 5 schools where some of them, mainly in the Midwest and the East Coast, that, you know, they stay from start to finish.
But those games are in the middle of the day.
Yeah, they are.
Those games are at 1 o'clock.
Well, then why aren't we playing at 1 o'clock?
TV. Who's gonna watch Fresno State in the afternoon versus a Texas A&M, Oklahoma State? Nobody.
You flip back and forth. But I mean, is it for TV or is it for like the fans? Like, you get mad at not you personally, but like we're mad that the fans won't stay, right? But it is a lot different going to a game at 7 o'clock, 7:30 than 1 o'clock, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've never been to.
It's just like high school games.
An A&M. I've never been to that type of Big 12 SEC. Like, I'm sure it's a party as well. I mean, you see it. It looks like
it's a party at 10 in the morning.
But those stadiums are full at kickoff.
They get in the stadium at kickoff because there's something cool about the kickoff and the home team doing their like whatever they do
like
when
West Virginia or
you know, like
Clemson.
A lot of teams have something they do at kickoff, which makes it fun for the fans. And Fresno State used to do that too. I remember growing up, and we used to do that too, going on the kickoff and stuff and standing up and, you know, getting loud and everything. So I don't know. I just think that the players need to stick, and this is where it's the NIL and like it's a lot about me, that they want to voice their opinions, which in all honesty they can do that if they want, but I just couldn't imagine my coach saying, you know, you calling out the fans is okay.
I get that. I do. I get that. And I also get the players being frustrated seeing a stadium pretty much leaving or empty well before the game's over. Like that's
what are you going to do about it though?
I get that too.
You got to put
I understand
up or
that.
shut up. You can't.
I mean, but also that's how much of that. Like when you run the between Sherrod and Mims, I want to say it was like 16 rushes, dude. It wasn't
terrible.
Like they weren't even a part of the game plan. It felt like.
I know.
So to say perform, I understand what you're saying. Ultimately as a group, perform. Yes. Individually, those guys weren't even like I think we have two really good backs that I'd love to see used more. Like he could catch balls out of the backfield. I don't know, man. So I get their frustration when this town wants to see a winning football team, right? But we don't stay and rally behind them like other fan bases do. So I guess where I get their frustration.
But our fans,
I don't think I'd have the stones to call out the fans.
And then how do you think a fan's going to take that?
Hey, that's a good point. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Be consistent.
Yeah, that's what and that's what I'm saying.
Thank them when they sell it out.
And I'm not a Bulldog. I didn't go to Fresno State.
I got you.
I grew up going to games. I have a different take on Fresno State athletics. If I went there, I'd probably think differently. I'd probably, be calling out the fans.
You'd be doing the same shit. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm almost. That's where I'm like good in all this because I don't have.
You went to ORU.
I went to ORU.
Your heart's there.
And guess what? I played with 100 fans in the stands.
Yeah.
But that's what we got.
Yeah.
What was I going to do? Call out Tulsa community because we don't have people supporting us? No. I went out and played and did our job, and we still made it to a super regional. I didn't worry about who was in the stands. I'm not playing for the people in the stands. I'm playing for me and my teammates and my brothers. And if that's not good enough that you need people to come watch you play, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. That's not why you're playing the game. You're not playing the game for people to come watch you. Is it cool to have that's why, is it cool when we went to freaking Arkansas and it was packed and everybody's against us? Yeah, it's cool. Do you wish it was like that at home? Yeah, you do, but you can't control that stuff. You can't control people leaving. Just go play the game.
Yeah.
That's
a good point. I agree with that too. But it does feel good to know, again, when people bitch and complain about us not winning or Fresno State not winning, I get why they get frustrated because if when we're down, that's when we need you most. Right? You see that in the World Series when we get to it. Like these crowds, these people, these players, don't tell me that Philly doesn't feed off the energy of that crowd.
Yeah.
And those players from whether it was the Braves, the Padres, and Fritz will be able to give us a better idea on that those guys didn't. Hey man, this is an atmosphere that the Padres didn't feed off of it at home against the Dodgers. So that's why I'm saying I get their frustrations totally.
Yeah, but do the fans also think like, okay, you're just calling us out when you want to call us out, but when we're there for you, you don't thank us for that, like you brought up earlier.
Sure, and that's why I just say be consistent. Like, hey, where are you guys at kickoff? Where's everybody at kickoff? I've seen it 2 or 3 times in the last few home games. Like, it doesn't look sold out at kickoff.
No.
And you go look at other places around the country at kickoff, that place is rocking. It's
packed.
It's rocking. Whatever the capacity is, it's full and it's rocking.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I don't know what other people thought of that. I'd love to get some other takes on it out there. I haven't heard Beware of Bulldogs recap yet.
And I also want to hear like family. You know what I mean? Like people don't understand. Like families are on different schedules than people that are single or have girlfriends or don't have kids, right? So like there's differences out there. So like when people are like, yeah, these fans, blah, blah, you don't have a family of 4 or 5 or we got to get to bed and you don't have to deal with a cranky baby in the morning or at night or you know what I mean? So people have reasons that they leave. So that I'm sure people want to stay.
Well, you had people on social media that did stay coming out of the woodworks after that and doing the same, like they followed suit. Like they were the ones talking shit to some of the fans that left. And I mean, I get it. Like I said, I totally get where you're coming from.
I would be more mad with the student. Where are my students? Where is my community at my school? Where are the people that wear the Bulldog on their chest every day? Why isn't the student section is so damn small at Fresno State? But then when you look at it looks like one whole half of the stadium at like Michigan or something.
Well,
like
a place holds 100,000 people.
I know, but still, it's like
I got you. It should be big, but I mean, yeah, it seems like the students show out with the section they do have. Maybe we grow it. I don't know. I'm not on the ins and outs. I don't go every game. I grew up going to a ton. I grew up on the sidelines pretty much. Worked the chain gang for years. I don't know. I don't know what you do. But I'm just saying, like, just maybe be consistent if you're gonna go.
I couldn't imagine Derek Carr or even David Carr like calling fans out.
True.
Back in the day.
No.
Like I don't. And I know everybody's like,
but
there wasn't social media.
They also had 11, 12 wins. Yeah, but you're biased a little bit.
About what?
Fresno State.
Dude, I loved Fresno State before it became all this entitlement and stuff and like terrible. Like, let's be honest. After Derek, we haven't had a good quarterback. You gave up. You had freaking Trent Tompkins at Central that could have taken over and done something. You had Jonah Johnson from Madera South that could have done something. I mean, I know Tedford had some maybe health stuff, but like we had some bad quarterbacking until Haener came in from Washington. And even then, I'm not all sold on Haener. That's how I feel. I feel like that's just the way it is. And I know people, I've never been like, oh, Haener this, and then, oh, now he's the savior. I've stayed to one side. You know how people, when he said what he said, I've stayed on one side. I see all this. I see the NIL stuff going on and everything. And I talked to a parent with their kid plays in the Pac-12 and we were talking about the NIL stuff and how it's almost dividing players at some of these schools because why is that guy getting that deal? Why is that guy getting that money? Why is that, you know what I mean? And that's what college football is becoming more like professional football, that it's not even like that was the best thing about college football, is about these kids wanting to do the best they can to get to the next level. And now I feel it's coming more of a professional sport. And I hate that.
It is. As far as Haener goes, I mean, I didn't like it because I want a good quarterback. It's no different than when DeBoer left, right? I was upset about that because I want a good coach.
Yeah.
He was a great coach. So yeah, I was pissed when he bounced. I was going to be pissed if Haener bounced because he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. The NFL stuff, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to sit up here and say I can evaluate any football players. I cannot. He had some balls the other night. I was like, shit, dude. He's a difference maker. Period. In my opinion, he made some throws like, shit, dude. It was a legit throw. Do I want him to go have success? Absolutely. As of all of them, they're Fresno State players. Like seeing Ronnie Rivers start on Sunday for the Rams was awesome. You know,
seeing I don't care.
Well, because are you really in on State though? Seriously, like, could you sit here and say you are really in on Fresno State
football?
Yeah.
No.
And when was the last time you think you were?
When Derek Carr was there.
And why is that?
Because he was Fresno State football. David's my favorite player of all time for Fresno State, but he was Fresno State football. Like the way he played the game, how he made it look fun and like it like just made you want to watch it. You know, I feel like nowadays some of the players, they're just out there for me. It's like, let me get mine. And like, dude, that's all you care about is you getting yours. Like, go win. Go do whatever you can to win the game. And I just...
If it's you getting less, be okay with that.
Yeah.
If we win.
Yeah. I'm like when did me become more important than winning? And I don't know. And I'm not saying that that's just how I feel that these guys are. And I don't know them, but I don't need to know them. It's just the perception that comes off to me. That's the perception I get.
Well, I mean, listen, you're allowed to.
Yeah, and I'm allowed to be 100% wrong too.
Yes.
So I just don't see a complete team in the coaching and the players at Fresno State, which is something that I always felt we had when Pat Hill was at the helm and even DeBoer was doing. I felt like it was a complete unit. And that was even when DeBoer had Haener, Cropper, and all those guys. It felt that way those years. Now it feels like individuals. There's a bunch of individuals, you know. Again, it's just my opinion. It's how it looks, my perception.
You're allowed, bro.
I know.
Don't apologize for it.
I'm not sorry. I'm right too.
Oh, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, at home against Hawaii this weekend, and then on the road at UNLV. I want them to go win. I actually don't know.
Well, no, it's not like I want Fresno State to lose. Like, I want Fresno State to have a good team. I'm from here. You know, I still hear it from my buddies from college.
It's not what it was for you when you were young. So at what point, though, did you think you got to accept, like, because it's been different for a while.
It has been.
And it, not just football, all sports.
Yes.
Baseball, all of it. You know, so at what point do you think you come around and...
Maybe I don't.
You might not.
Maybe, you know...
Because you hate, like, even, like, Major League Baseball, the way it's played and what it's become.
Yeah.
Like, why we still do this, I don't know anymore. Maybe this is our last one.
I don't know, dude. I just don't... I'm so... Like, why do things have to change? When things are going so good, things change. Like, I mean,
sometimes change is good, though.
Sometimes change is good.
Sometimes change is
needed. But not when it's not needed.
Like rules.
Like rules. Like...
You're referring to baseball, right?
I'm referring to baseball. I'm referring to the NIL stuff. I mean, like, dude, I asked this.
Do you wish you had NIL?
No.
Are you jealous?
I'm not jealous.
Okay.
One bit.
I'm asking.
I'm not, because guess what? No baseball player has a full scholarship. The parent that I'm referring to, that kid's at a Power 5, right? They make $2,200 on top of their full scholarship.
A month.
So books, tuition, food. Oh, here's $2,200 as well. You're telling me a college kid can't live on $2,200 a month in college, where you have all your clothes given to you at these schools, you have your cafeteria and stuff, all your food, all that done for you, your books, tuition. What's the $2,200 for? That's free money. But now on top of it, you want NIL money. You want to get paid for this. You don't want to be fucking cool and be in a video game, but you want to get paid for it. Like, so now everybody's got to suffer for one of the best video games of all time to be gone.
For what now? It's been a while.
It's been since 14, I think, or 16.
I think it's coming back, though.
And
you're worried about the football game?
That game was sick, bro.
I got you.
But you have all these prima donnas that want to get paid for being in a football game rather than just being happy you're in a damn game. What's wrong with just being happy that you need to get paid for it? And I get these universities make so much money, and they make so much money. But guess what? Look at your facilities. Your facility. What if they made so much money and your facilities were shit and they weren't nice and you didn't get your free clothing?
Well, I think Haley was on here talking. Remember, she said that Texas, like, it was all donated. Like, they still didn't even hit some of the athletic budget to get some of the facilities they have. That's a different animal, though.
I know it is, but that's why Fresno State's facilities aren't nice. It's one of the top mid-majors in the country. You don't think those facilities are nice? I think the baseball stadium needs some renovating.
I think the football stadium needs some renovating.
The football stadium needs renovating, but their workout facilities, their uniforms are top-notch. Their field is top-notch. I mean, what else do we want? It's not good enough just to be able to go play the game anymore. That's what frustrates me. Like, I was so happy just to be able to go to a Division I school because I wanted to play Division I baseball. I was so happy. I didn't even know where or who Oral Roberts was until I went and visit them. And I was so happy to be wanted at a Division I that I didn't even think about how am I going to pay for this? I'm only on a 40% scholarship. I didn't even think about how am I going to pay for the rest of it. I took out school loans that myself had to pay for. But that's what I had to do to be able to do my dream and want to play Division I baseball. I didn't get, here's $2,200 check on top of your full scholarship, and then now I want more?
Well, what were they? I mean, what was it? I mean, obviously it's it's gotten more expensive to live as the years have gone on. But I mean, weren't scholarships big then too? Like you were still getting money to live on top of your scholarship. That's I don't know if that's ever really changed, right?
No, I'm not talking baseball either. I'm talking about football, basketball.
Right. I'm saying football. That's always been something.
It's always been something. They've always had extra money.
So, I mean, I get it.
Which $2,200 a month. That's what. That's almost like a full-time job.
Yeah, for some people, yeah. For a lot of people, that's more than some people make a month.
Yes. But now they want to get paid for their jersey sales, to get paid for being in a video game. Dude, why don't you just look in the stands and be like, oh, my God, dude, there's so many freaking Chad Rofford jerseys up there. Like, why do I need to get paid for that? Like, that wouldn't be my mindset. That's what the problem is. Like, the mindset now is so much on money. Like, how can I make a buck? How can I make money off of this? Rather than just being happy that you're getting this opportunity. Because not a lot of people get this opportunity.
True. But I mean, not a lot of people put in the work to get those opportunities.
And not a lot of people get their jersey sold.
Like that's part of, you work so hard. You have the off seasons, the workouts you do, the early mornings, the late nights, the summers. You did all that to experience that, to earn that scholarship. Because you earn a scholarship.
You earn it.
Right? You also earn to keep it. Mm-hmm. Like it takes that to keep it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't love the NIL stuff either. And I think there is something to the fact that it can be divisive, that it could split morale maybe. I've heard that. It's not, I mean, I don't know. I don't see it on an everyday basis. I'm not around programs all the time. But I've heard it. I could see where that could happen. I'm not sure if it's happening here within the Fresno State community, whether it be football, baseball, basketball. I have no clue. I know the Dogs are 4-4, and I've been looking at the last 4 games. They're 3-1, and they're playing better. I'm not like I've said it. This will be the 3rd time. I don't know enough to critique what individuals are doing, what coaches are doing. I don't know. And so I just don't, like, who am I, right? That's my approach. That's how I think. And I think that towards baseball as well. There's certain things I won't comment. So I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm on the side of I want us to win out. I want to go to a bowl game, and I'm excited we're 3-1. I'm excited we got the dub. It's a new week, right? And that's the other thing. It's like we can celebrate that win, but tomorrow's Tuesday. It's 3 days. It's time to look out the front window and not the mirror. Mm-hmm. So there's still an objective to complete. It'll be interesting to see some of the takes we get on this. But there is a World Series going on, Chad.
There is.
Game 3 tonight, or it was last night, sorry. Game 4 would be tonight. Mm-hmm. It's tied 1-1, though, at the moment, as we're recording this, and they're back in Philly. Philly comes back from down 5 game 1 in pretty impressive fashion. It looked like it was going to get away early, and then just kept chipping, dude. Chipping. And again, it's not over until it's over. Mm-hmm. And just a good baseball game, man. You saw some stolen bases. You saw some good defensive play. You saw the bullpens settle it down a little bit, and go extra innings. I don't know. What did you think of game 1?
It was a baseball game,
right?
It was fun to watch, and I was pulling for. I like Verlander too. He's one of those guys that I like, and I know he's had
his struggles in the postseason,
and the World Series. So it's just like I felt bad that he had a 5-0 lead, no hitter through 3. Brogdon's mom fucked that up.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that was awesome too. By the way, I loved it. She nailed that.
And but I like Verlander, and it sucks that it came back 5-5 when he was still in the game. But no, good pitching. I think.
Were you expecting kind of the same thing for game 2? Like that
Well,
same
when I saw
type of
5-0,
with like the third inning.
I thought it could happen again. But I don't know. It's just been really good baseball to watch. It's hard too because like there's certain players I'm pulling for, like when they come up for the Phillies, and I'm like, I really want them to do good. And then I'm obviously, Bregman's one of my favorite players, and I like Pena, the new kid, and I'm even pulling for Altuve. So I'm just kind of like cheering on each side, it seems like, when they're up to the plate. So I just like how it's a good series, and I hope it goes to 6 or 7. And
it looks like it might.
And obviously, I think I'm pulling for the Astros just for, Dusty. But yeah, it's just good baseball. I'm glad it's good baseball too. I'm glad it's not, a shit show out there.
Well, what you don't want is a sweep.
Yeah, and we're not going to get that.
No.
I feel like it doesn't matter if whoever the Astros are playing, like somebody's going to try to find something the Astros are doing wrong.
Well, so getting into that, Phillies fall game 2, get shut out in game 2. But I'm with you on Bregman. I love watching Bregman play. It's something about the stage too that doesn't faze him or seem to faze him.
Statistically, he's already the best third baseman in the postseason of all time.
He broke the record for home runs in a postseason, right? Or
tied it or something like that. 14.
I like watching JT Realmuto too, and I know he had a little lapse there with I think it was game 1. The one knee, which I can't stand. But dude, the first thing he said in his interview was he owned it, and he took ownership of it, and how that can't happen. And I don't know why some of these guys do that one knee stuff. He's a big leaguer, again, a position where I'm no one to critique how he plays the game. I like how he plays the game. He's one of my favorite players too. Also talking about Bregman, there's a lot of players I like. You get into the thing with the Astros, and it's like, yeah, they're going to be linked to 17 to the end of time. Whether Altuve's still on the Astros or not. Look at Correa. George Springer. Like, they're still connected to the Astros in 2017. And they're not even on the Astros anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they still got it at all the ballparks they went to. And you're seeing it now. Valdez the other night had glove swap. There's video that you sent me one of him going to his palm or his glove, and I don't see anything, right? But it's they're never going to get the benefit of the doubt, ever. Mm-hmm. They're always going to be, well, they did it in 17, and so they're doing it now. I can't give you an explanation regarding the glove with Valdez. There was one video today I saw of Altuve just flipping his glove up in the air. I think it was during a mound visit. And they're saying, oh, look, Altuve's he's cheating. He's sending a signal. Yeah. The other one was him organizing the cups above the Gatorade cooler. You know what I mean? Oh, he's sending a signal. So they're never going to be out of it. They'll always be that team. They'll always be a part of that group. And I don't know if winning a World Series will fix that.
Probably won't.
The other thing was Maldonado using Pujols' bat. And this one kind of confuses me. So the story goes, and they said it live on the during game 1 or game 2, I think, when they said it was an illegal bat. Before the World Series, he'd reached out to Albert Pujols and requested some of his bats. For what reason, I don't really know. To commemorate his career? Well, you didn't use them in the ALCS or the DS. Were you using him in the season? Why for the World Series? That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you just all of a sudden want to use a different bat from what you've used all year long?
Well, I mean, he's a career 190 hitter, so
doesn't. You're saying it doesn't matter? Is that what you're saying?
Although he did have an RBI single in game 1.
I'm just like, it's odd to me that first, and maybe he didn't know that it was an illegal bat, but does Pujols know the rule? Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure he knows. So why would you send him knowing? But I mean, then the reports are that the bat itself, it's more for safety reasons is why it's not deemed legal. Apparently, I think it was a certain type of maple.
But the thing is like, then why does the guy getting grandfathered in get to keep it if there's a safety issue? Like, why don't you just let everybody change?
It doesn't make any sense, the rule.
The rule doesn't make sense.
So in 2010, any players 2010 or prior that had used that specific type of model
barrel
or whatever maple it was to use or used to make those bats
could still use
it, but anybody else after 2010 could not.
And Maldonado started in 11.
Why wouldn't you just stop letting those bats be in? If they're then they're not illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not technically illegal.
That's where it's like, so it's not illegal for Pujols to use it, but it's illegal for Maldonado to use it. Like, that makes no sense.
It doesn't.
So it's not an illegal bat.
This is why I just thought it was a weird thing. I don't. Do I think the Astros are cheating? No, I don't. I think
they're really fucking good.
Yeah, they are good. I think for one, people just like to do that.
Yeah, they don't. They hate on. I don't know. 'Cause people say I hate on people. So.
Well, you're an.
I was gonna say, but now they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, Fresno State's good, but they're not good." So I was
Get the fuck out of here.
I would say
they
hate on like good teams, but
they are good. All right, the Dogs are good. Stop
they're
it.
Good 4-4 team.
Stop it.
They're the best 4-4 team.
Shut up. No, I think people love to roast. That's what I'm saying. The Astros are never going to get away from it.
No,
they just won't happen. And it's fun for. I mean, you got all these other organizations. It's fun for them. And it's like when the Yankees lose, or the Red Sox lose, or the Dodgers lose. Those four teams are going to get shit on by everybody for whatever reason. They're going to get hated on just because.
Yeah.
They'll get hated on if they win.
Yeah.
And if the Astros win, it's going to happen. Even more cheating stuff's going to be said. It's never going away.
Or even like the Castellanos after game 1 when he pulled his shirt up. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's a savage for doing this, showing the Astros that he doesn't have any wires." It's like, no, bro, go to every game they've ever won or lost even. He takes his jersey out from being tucked after every game.
He's not doing anything.
He wasn't doing anything.
We're creating stories that aren't stories.
We're trying to create a story.
Yeah. But the Maldonado bat thing, I don't know, man. It doesn't.
It's funny. I didn't even think about it until you said it. It's technically not illegal.
Well, yeah. If Pujols was still able to use it, it's
not illegal.
No.
It just makes no sense. You either make all the bats illegal or not make them illegal.
Dude, there's no rhyme or reason to what Major League Baseball does. Let's be honest. With the glove thing, I don't know. Tonight, the next 3 games in Philly, I'm excited just to see that.
If they check gloves, if they check
here's
palms.
the thing. I said it a minute ago. I don't think they're cheating. Okay, they're under. These the only 2 baseball teams playing.
Yes,
and it's the World Series. Everything is being seen under a microscope. Or at least should be. The people that watch, they see everything. Mm-hmm. You saw the video with Valdez and this. I wasn't paying attention to that during the game.
My thing is, if there's some sticky substance on the ball, it's gonna be on his fingers
or his palm, or his pants if he's wiping.
If he's wiping, you're gonna see something on his pants.
The Phillies are seeing something. They didn't call it out. These guys, everybody's watching everything.
Yeah,
everything.
And you're seeing the same videos over and over again. You're not seeing him after every inning doing the same thing. You're seeing like that one inning that he did that. Or that one ball he rubbed up and did that. You're not seeing like a bunch of different times he got a ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
Well, I'm excited.
Maybe he sweats in one glove and I don't know.
Well, one had a different web that, I know most pitchers like the closed web so you can't see, but with the bat, it's not like I don't think the problem is that the bat was manipulated in any way. You know what I mean? I don't think they're cheating, but I think people have a lot of fun.
If it was Real Muto using it and he hit the home run, well, do we say anything?
Yeah. I mean, do people?
We do, yeah. Do they make a big deal about
probably
it?
Probably not. Well, yeah, of course.
Of Astros?
It's a story. Yes, they would. It would be made. I'm just saying it's magnified because it's the Astros. Everything's going to be magnified. That's just how it's going to be. That's how it is. Again, the world we live in. So, exciting series, though. 1-1, Halloween, game 2, tonight, Tuesday.
Well, no, we still got
game 3.
Still got to talk about the umpire.
Oh, yeah. Chad, thank you.
Pat Hoberg.
Go ahead. I've never seen this.
Called a perfect game.
In a World Series of all.
And in the World Series. 100% on all 129 calls.
Yeah, 129 for 129. Didn't miss a call.
It's awesome.
It's impressive.
You know what's crazy, too, is the average is 94%.
Which is still, I think, really good.
It's really good. You know, I think, and like Labby said the other day, like, he doesn't like, I like the strike zone on the TV.
You do like it
just because I like to see it. But maybe I'm like that, like, oh, dude, that's a ball or that's a strike, when maybe the strike zone is just different for that umpire. So I don't know, but to be 100% in a pressure situation game like that, and I know they're professionals and they've been doing this all year and they've done big games and, you know, big teams or whatever, but that's a tough job, especially with how hard they're throwing. Framer's curveball is disgusting. It could be in the zone, drop out of the zone. Wheeler was gross. You know, you got all those pitchers that throw hard with movement. It's hard to do that, and to be perfect it's almost insane that he didn't miss one.
Yeah, that's impressive. Tip your cap there.
Yeah,
everybody likes to shit on an umpire. That's in the World Series when everybody's watching. Like you said, the only game on TV is yours. Mm-hmm. To nail it, yeah, that's pretty impressive. So yeah, congrats, Blue.
Just glad we're not Angel Hernandez isn't in the World Series.
Could you imagine, dude? I don't think we'd have I would like to get his average rating score from Behind the Dish.
I might be able to look that up.
We'd have to go pull all of his cards and average it out.
Yeah, let me just look it up real quick, see if I can find it. His accuracy is 93.5, so it's below the league average.
Not by much, though. Not by much.
His expected accuracy is 93.2.
So a little below. All right.
And he's 0.13 runs of impact per call.
1.3?
0.13.
Oh, 0.13. Well, we've seen some whoppers in our time. We'll just say that. While that's slightly below the average, we've seen some horrendous Angel Hernandez before. But again, it's World Series, 1-1 tie. It'll be over by the time we get back next week. So I'm excited to finish this thing. We will revisit the rest of the World Series or recap it next week. Episode 180, bro. I thank everybody that listens, downloads, always sharing and subscribing, commenting, everything. We do appreciate it. This is another episode of the Hit or Die podcast.
Hit or Die.